So let's get started. At first I want to show you the original mix. You can see it here. It's called Old Mix. I turned off all my procession, all my procedure, so the equalizer's turned off. There's nothing, no inserts, and I also turned off the pre-master and the master bus. So this is the original song, what I received here. Let's start in here. So you can hear it's a good mix. It's a good mix, and but I immediately felt that the main guitar is very nice, hearable, but the kick and the snare that drives the song is a bit too low, whereas the bass guitar is also pretty high. So I just want to show you what I did first with this mix, and then we go more in detail. So nothing too complicated. I started to reduce a little bit the harshness of this in this area, 3K. And this is a compressor that is sidechained with a kick that I will show you later that I added. And there's a multiband also for a bit harshness and a bit de-essing in the vocals. So let's put that in. And my equalizer, I just attenuate a little bit, 1 dB in the area, so to reduce a little bit of this boomy bass. But this is just slightly. And then let's see what I did with the second. Let's stop for now here. Then I copied this track and put a main mix. Here I will turn off everything that I did. Also, still there's nothing on the master buses. So this is only what I did in the track, in this audio file. So I copied it. But I wanted to control the bass here even more, and in general to compress this whole track a little bit more and use it kind of a parallel compression. So I compressed it a little bit more. Multiband, dipped out some ringing frequencies. Again, the harshness and more bass control. The lovely SSL. Here I put in a little bit high frequency, in a very high band, 16K. And then again, a little dip in the harshness frequency. So what we have now is two mixes. The old and the copy one. One is a little bit more compressed and slightly worked differently, but we have a lot of dynamic. Nothing is really compressed, really hard compressed. But now the difference is what happens here. Why I copied this. The old mix, this track is going directly to the master bus. So this is the master bus. Here we see the master bus. I will turn on the master bus now, and show you what happens. So the master bus really affects everything, every single track in the whole project. That's why it's also called master. It's the last procedure. But before the master, the copy track, yes, this one, I send to what I call a pre-master, and do a heavy compression. But let's start with the master bus now. I put it in. Let's see how the old mix now changes. Of course, we get a little bit. Volume increasement, but on the master bus, I do a compression in a parallel mode with Joey Sturgis. Let's do it one by one. It brings up the volume. It looks more than it is. It's only 3 dB here, so it's very, very slightly made some changes. What I felt right. And this is a procedure I did. Here's the second EQ, and this is also EQ matching. If you want to know more about it, I can show you in a different tutorial. So I would say I color my mixes with the color of other songs. It's not that you really get the whole mastering out of it, but you color. Sometimes a song has a really nice high band. A finished production has a nice high band or a nice low end, and then you compare it with the EQ match to your mix, and you see, oh, my mix has not as much high end or low end. This is the area I did very, very tiny bits in a, let's call it a muddy area, 100 to 200 hertz. This is the fourth step. Then I turn in a maximizer. I like this plugin. I think it gives a little bit high end. It does, of course. It makes it a little bit louder in the soft clip mode. So that means when it's peaking, it's not just cutting it. It's slightly giving harmonics to it. That means soft clip. And then again a polished EQ with a low cut. Yeah, it's pretty drastically 60 hertz, but at 60 hertz. But I thought it was really nice, especially when I turn in the bass bus that is still left, and then the last limiter. So nothing really crazy happens at this stage. Yeah, nothing really crazy happens in the main master bus. But yeah, where the magic happens will be the pre-master bus, and the real magic will happen with my added kick and snare and the bass bus. So, but step by step. So we heard the old mix. We did a little bit of correction, a little bit equalizing in the low end, and this is routed directly to the master out, and we put the master on, and we heard it's a bit of coloring, what I said, the EQ matching, a bit of compression, and a bit of limiting. Nothing really spectacular at this point. So yeah, it's a good mix already, but still there is this fundament is missing, and a kick and a snare. But this problem will be more audible when I'm going to the next steps of processing. This is also something about you need to know about mastering. You bring out the positive things, but you bring also out the negatives or the lack, the missing things out of a track. So when there is not enough snare recorded or mixed correctly, then you bring up all the other elements, and you it can happen that your snare disappears a little bit. But now the main mix. I showed you this is what I did on the group on the track channel. Nothing really drastically. A little bit of clarity, a little bit of compression, multiband compression, and now we take a look into the pre-master. So this is what happens before the master with this track. So I take this area here. Let's loop it, and we hear what happens. Yeah, at first the Slate console, it brings a little bit of overtone dynamics in the RC tube mode. I think this is the most, for me it's the most drastic mode. I would say you hear a lot of overtones in this mode. And the SSL, what did I hear? Nothing really special. I think I just compressed it a little bit. No, this is really just for my impression that it changes a little bit in the tone when it goes through this plugin. I think I put it also in maybe to increase the high ends, but I didn't. So it's just there for psychological effects. Next step is the Fabfilter. I've created a preset called More Control in the bass area, but also give it a little lift in the bass, but it attenuates the bass in the low frequency. Then a saturation. Here is the clean tube driven a little bit. I put in a little bit bass in the upper bands and a little bit presence, and in the low I cut it out. This is maybe also interesting. So the EQ just works for this area, but so the highs of the low area, I took out a bit of this presence. I think it's about the 200 area. Problem or no, is even lower. It's only in the 100 area. A little bit of clarity. Then again, my shapings. More shaping. It's a little bit like painting, yeah. It's a little bit. I bring in a little bit of some frequency, turn out some frequencies. So, and now let's listen to it. With and without. So we're at a good stage right now. Now let's bring the main mix and the old mix together. As I said, this is a bit more compressed, a bit more worked, and the old mix, I liked the mix, how it was mixed. That is important. I liked it. I didn't have to make so much changes. So this is why this works. Both tracks work a bit like a parallel, and I like the old dynamics. So I put it in. Let's see what happens now when I bring it in. So without, and with, it opens the mix a bit in the mid-range. In the mid-range it opens the mix very nice. So but now the next step what I did for the mastering, still the track sounds good, it's but still there's missing this fundament, this really big low end, and so I put in just a low end. Yeah, so I just took this band from 100 Hertz, soldered it, hard compression, free plugin, very nice, and Joey's bass plugin for low end. I doubled it, so 2 times. I really nailed it. I really wanted to make it really standing in the low end. Yeah, it's a big amount of low end, and together with those 3 mixes, it works really well. This bass is, by the way, that maybe this is also important, it's also going to the pre-master. So everything we applied here, we also applied on this track, whereas all the dips and stuff is not hearable because we only put in input for only, the input is only 100 Hertz, as you have seen with the solo band. So let's put everything together. And now you hear this is a quite compact song now. It's really nice low end, it has nice highs, there's no harshness in the vocals. But the kick and the snare is missing a little bit. Let's see what happens with and without. Put a blip here. Yeah, so the low end is missing. And I can just say this in metal makes the difference. The bass bass. It needs to be nailed. But now we want to really benefit. We want to really go into this track. We want to really bring it to the next level. So I added a kick. I received the kick track. So this is my work. What I did. Let's listen. This is the actual kick, how it was recorded. You can listen. It's already a sample. Or sampled, it's cutted and chopped. But I just needed very good transients. I needed very good transients to get my trigger going, to get my trigger triggered. So this trigger, I used a slate kick and some mics, turned the mics down, tuned it, and very important for me always to make it very short, the sample of the kick. Then I put in nothing here, So then I put in Major Tom, nice plug in, the transient, just shorten it a little bit, yeah, get more rid of the room. I could have done it with just bringing down the room mics, but that's pretty good. Or I like the room mics. I like what they give also to the transients, so I let them in. They're a very important area. There is this room sound. Yeah, this and we get rid of it. Then I put in the Pultec, and it's the Pultec trick. So boost everything. It's a Pultec trick, boost everything, and attenuate also everything. So let's hear it. Really nice low end. Then Waves Transix, attenuating the transients, the tech of the low end. This is a good area for the kick. Brick wall limiting, just to make sure nothing clips. It's actually kind of a clipper. And then I took my Cambridge to take off the 37 Hertz. And oh, I forgot the major tone. To show you. This is a DBX style compression, so very fast, or lets the transient pass really nicely, and then it grabs the song, grabs the sample. Yeah, brings out exactly what I needed. So let's listen now with the bass sub, and of course I sidechained the bass, the kick to this low end. Track, this bass bus, to get to really feel and hear the impact of the kick. Yeah, that's important. So let's listen. Without and with. So yeah, you could say it's subtle, but I think it's pretty drastically when you have good speakers or headphones, you will hear the difference very drastically. So that was really important, and now you hear there's still, now the snare is a bit missing. And of course I forgot something to tell you. When you have such a hard compressed bass bus, you need to pay attention of the ring outs. If I wouldn't do it, it would be whooming, it would be really loud and boomy. So and now what I told you, the snares. I put 3 snare tracks in it. Yeah, my beloved Joey Sturgis snare with the SSL, with an SSL. With an SSL procedure, nice, pretty big compression. And now it's a gate. It's a gate. Let's do it here. Let's do it on this track maybe, and we do it really nice. Sorry, we are here in this area. So I put out a little of a ring here and put in a little bit low end. Nothing more. Maybe a bit reverb, bit played, and another really nice. I think it's free. Very nice kit. Just put an SSL on it. Bit high end. Bit here in the 200 Hertz area. A bit the wood, or yeah, the stick. Bring in a little bit here, and then the low end. Yeah, it's amazing what the SSL does. It's so cool. And again, Trans X bringing out the transients, the high and the mid transients, and brick wall, just to ensure nothing clips or nothing drives the pre-master. I think this goes also through too much. Yeah. So this is to protect the compressor that is coming next. You could tell. And then here, by the way, 3 samples. So I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 samples. This is also in here. But this is really just blending. It's really just blending in some. You see, it's also not really loud. And those samples are not round robin, so they are really just static, but together with the other samples, really nice. Let's see if there's some fills, but nothing big in here. But I can also, of course, work on velocities, and yeah. So this is cool. I added this, and yeah. This is everything. So this is the snare, and now I want to use the toms. I received the toms, and I heard, okay, this needs also to be done, to be fixed. So I'm almost at stem mastering, or it's mixed and mastering together. This is my procedure. And what I did here, nothing really crazy. Let's see if we have a nice run somewhere, or a different track or so. Let's see here. Maybe we take this part. It was, of course, a little bit tricky. You might ask how I found out. Yeah, I had to listen. And I can loop it and take it out, so you hear the difference. I just get a little bit more attention to the drums, attention to the toms. So this was very important. Don't forget, we are in a mastering stage. This is not a mixing stage. So it was mixed very well and very good, but I needed a little bit more. And so I came up with this. And of course I bring the toms to the tom track. There's slightly different work on the toms, as you can imagine. Yeah, from high to low, and of course I grouped the toms. We have a major tom here, the drums from CLI, from Joe Sturgis. Nothing really crazy, compression, letting the transients, the punch through and attack. Put a little bit Camel Crusher on it to distort the toms a little bit. And I thought this is a bit of nasty area in toms, so multiband means every time it's passing a certain threshold or a certain frequency passes certain loudness, then it cuts down. This is what you can set. EQ would be even if the frequency is at a low or high volume, it will be cutted or boosted. So this is what I did here, and this is a pretty vast and extended mastering, but I think it turned out really well. The band is happy, and so yeah, that's it.